He wasn't a CEO, a politician, or anyone powerful, just a cleaner trying to provide for his family. But on one ordinary morning, his young black son sensed something was terribly wrong. With fear in his voice, he shouted, "Don't get in the car!" What happened next would ripple through the entire company, exposing truths no one wanted to face. A single decision in a single moment revealed the fragile line between respect and prejudice. What did the CEO do? And why did it shock everyone who witnessed it? Marcus had worked as a cleaner in the same corporate building for nearly a decade. Day after day, he mopped the marble floors, polished the glass doors, and kept the offices spotless long after the executives had gone home. He never complained, never asked for recognition. He simply wanted to provide a stable life for his family. For Marcus, dignity was found in hard work. His young son, Jamal, often tagged along, sitting quietly in the corner with homework spread across his lap, watching his father move through the silent hallways. To him, this building wasn't just a workplace. It was a world of power, where suits and titles decided who mattered and who didn't. But beneath the polished surface of this company was something far less pristine. Whispers of unfair treatment lingered in the background, subtle glances that carried weight, doors that seemed to open only for certain people. Marcus had learned to live with it, to swallow the sting of inequality for the sake of his family's future. Still, children see what adults try to hide. Jamal noticed things his father would never say out loud, and one morning, as Marcus prepared to leave for work, Jamal sensed that something wasn't right. That quiet awareness, innocent yet urgent, would soon shatter the fragile peace of their routine. That morning began like any other. Marcus arrived at the glass towers of the company, the mop bucket rolling beside him, Jamal trailing close behind. The executives passed them without a glance, expensive shoes clicking against polished floors Marcus himself had cleaned the night before. For most, he was invisible, but on this day, someone was watching. As Marcus stepped outside to empty trash into the loading dock, a sleek black car pulled up. Its tinted windows rolled down, revealing the CEO himself. It was rare to see him arrive this way, without his usual entourage, without his practiced smile. He leaned out, looking directly at Marcus. "Get in the car," he said, flat and commanding. No explanation, no greeting, just an order. Marcus froze. He had never been addressed by the CEO before, not even a nod of acknowledgement in the halls. His hands tightened on the trash bag, his mind racing. Why him? Why now? Jamal, standing a few feet away, felt the tension in the air. Children notice what adults try to suppress, and he saw the unease in his father's posture. His chest tightened with fear. Something didn't feel right. Without thinking, he shouted, loud enough to echo through the dock. "Don't get in the car!" The sound cut through the air like glass shattering. Workers nearby turned their heads. The CEO's eyes narrowed, his expression unreadable. Marcus looked at his son, torn between obedience and instinct. To defy a man of power could cost him his job, his reputation, maybe more. But to ignore his son's warning, there was a weight in Jamal's voice that couldn't be dismissed. Whispers spread quickly among the staff. Why would a child cry out like that? What was the CEO planning? For the first time, Marcus felt every gaze turn toward him, not with indifference, but with expectation. The CEO stepped out of the car slowly, adjusting his suit, his face calm but sharp. Each step he took toward Marcus seemed heavier than the last, pulling the air out of the space. And then, he smiled. Not the warm, rehearsed smile of a leader, but something thinner, colder. Jamal's small hands clenched into fists at his side, his eyes fixed on the man who held his father's livelihood in the palm of his hand. Marcus swallowed hard, feeling the silent pressure of decades of unspoken rules. Know your place, don't speak back, don't resist. But now the company was watching. The workers were watching. His son was watching. And Marcus knew that whatever happened next would not be forgotten. The silence in the loading dock was suffocating. Marcus stood frozen, every nerve in his body on edge, as the CEO closed the distance between them. The man's polished shoes echoed against the concrete, each step deliberate, each movement charged with authority. Then, without warning, the CEO stopped just inches away. His voice was calm, almost too calm. "Do you trust me?" The words felt less like a question and more like a test. Marcus's chest tightened. He wanted to believe it was nothing, that maybe he was being paranoid, that his son's warning was just a child's fear. But then he saw it, that look in the CEO's eyes, cold, calculating, the look of someone who didn't see a man standing in front of him, but a servant, someone disposable. Jamal's voice cut through the air again, trembling but firm. "Dad, please don't." His small frame shook, but his gaze never left the CEO. It was a child's plea, but also an instinct, an alarm ringing where adults tried to stay silent. The CEO's smile faded. The mask of professionalism slipped, revealing something raw, something uglier. His hand gripped Marcus's arm, not with kindness, but with possession. Gasps rippled through the nearby workers. In that moment, the truth was laid bare. This wasn't about offering a ride. It was about power, control, a reminder of where Marcus stood. Marcus's pulse thundered in his ears. He thought of every insult he'd swallowed, every time he'd been overlooked, every quiet injustice he'd endured to feed his family. But this was different. This was public. His son was watching. For the first time, Marcus didn't lower his eyes. He pulled his arm back, sharp and decisive, breaking the grip. A stunned silence fell over the dock. The CEO's expression twisted, shock, then fury. And in that split second, everyone watching knew the balance of power had shifted. The grip was broken, but the weight of the moment lingered. For the first time, Marcus stood in defiance, not just for himself, but for every quiet injustice he had endured. Around him, the workers who once looked past him now stood frozen, watching power unravel before their eyes. The CEO's authority, so carefully constructed, cracked in that instant. The incident didn't vanish into silence. Whispers spread through the building, and soon the entire company knew what had happened at the loading dock. Some tried to excuse it, brushing it off as a misunderstanding, but others saw it clearly. A line had been crossed, one that could no longer be ignored. For Marcus, it wasn't just about his job anymore. It was about his son, about showing Jamal that dignity wasn't something given by those in power, but something you claim for yourself. That day, Marcus walked away shaken but unbroken, his head higher than before. But the truth is, Marcus's story isn't unique. Across workplaces, neighborhoods, and schools, countless others face the same silent battles, moments when prejudice hides behind a smile, or when power tries to disguise control as kindness. And like Marcus, too many are forced to decide whether to endure or to resist. So the question is this: how many more stories like Marcus's must unfold before real change takes root? How many more warnings must go unheard before people in power finally listen? This isn't just one man's story. It's a reflection of a system. And the next time a voice cries out, "Don't get in the car," will we be ready to listen, or will we turn away once again?